It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Most people assume pilots enjoy professional respect, a well-rewarded jet-set lifestyle, flying with glamorous cabin crew to exotic locations. But today the reality does not always live up to the image. Slavik is a young man who's passionate about aviation. He's trying to get his commercial pilot's license and is working hard every day to be able to afford it.
I first got into aviation when I was 12 when a friend of ours took me for a small, took me in a small aircraft for a small flight, and I've caught the flying bug, as they call it, ever since then. All I wanted to do is fly aircraft and be around airplanes. Then about a year ago I finally had the opportunity to start my pilot training and started my private pilot's license. So to find my training, I'm also need to have a full-time job, so it takes more time for me than say for other people, but I've still got a long way to go. I've only got my private pilot's license, so I'm trying to build a few hours.
Reviewing tower, Skyhawk 6525 Delta is ready for takeoff.
Skyhawk 6525 Delta, reviewing tower, cross runway 31 right, hold short runway 31 left.
Becoming a pilot is considered a luxury today. The cost of getting a commercial pilot's license in the UK goes up to £100,000. Historically, airlines paid for individuals' training, but now aspiring pilots must fund their own training.
57, 6 miles ahead with the same call sign, caution, wake turbulence, runway 13 left.
There are no companies in the UK, no airlines in the UK which currently directly train their trainee pilots. What often happens is that trainees have to put up their parents' house, for instance, as a guarantee to get this loan. This is a completely unfair thing to do. People shouldn't have to put their parents' house in jeopardy in order to train to become a pilot. But that's basically what we're seeing at the moment.
The spokesman for the British Association for Pilots, Richard Toomer, says it's a volatile industry and everyone should be aware of its pitfalls.
It can be very difficult, and then you can end up with pilots who have put their heart and soul and a lot of money into becoming pilots, into their training, sitting around for in some cases many years without being able to get their dream job as a pilot.
Young people like Matt Cash, who got his commercial pilot's license a year ago, but still hasn't managed to fly commercially.
I think certainly graduated flight school at the wrong time, really, in the middle of a global recession. This year I've applied to 290 operators within Europe, and unfortunately there's no jobs to be had working full-time as a commercial pilot.
He's working as a flight instructor part-time and is consistently training because he's not giving up.
I fly on the weekends, I get paid for that, so that earns me a little bit of money to put towards the cost of the train to get the training costs back. I'm just going to keep applying and I'm going to keep going because I believe that the global economy will pick up and there will be a demand for people with pilot's licenses. I think to give up would be a complete waste, having put so much effort into becoming a pilot.
Pilot Peter has a different story. He learned to fly with the Royal Air Force and has been flying commercially for 25 years now.
The progression was flying with the Air Cadets, learning to fly with Oxford Air Training School at 18, learning to fly properly with the University Air Squadron when I went to university at 21. And then there was a long pause because the airlines weren't recruiting in the UK, and by the age of 26 I had enough money one way and another, some of my own, some help from my family, to go to Oxford Air Training School again and do my commercial flying license, which is what I did. Because of the very structured training I'd done with the Air Force in the University Air Squadron, they reduced the flying hours that I had to do. Not the ground school, I had to do it all, but the flying hours were somewhat reduced, which made it more affordable than it otherwise would have been and meant that I could just afford to do it. So I was very, very lucky with the timing of what I did. I emerged from Oxford with a commercial pilot's license and what they call an instrument rating, which enables you to fly in all weather. And I joined BA from Oxford.
Yet being rewarded with high debts and uncertainty to find a job, all these people have something in common, their passion for flying.
It just feels great. It feels, you know, when you take off, I think all my problems and everything get left on the ground, and I'm just free to do whatever I want. It's just a feeling like no other, really, and that's why I love it.
The best thing you can say about flying is that you don't come home wondering why you went to work. It's essential that you do your job professionally, that you enjoy it, and that you apply yourself to it.
95% of pilots in the UK are proud to be pilots. They're proud to tell people that they're pilots, but only 1 in 5 of them would recommend the career to their children. And you have to ask yourself, why is that the case? And it's because it isn't easy.
And while Slavik has some concerns about going forward with his career in aviation, he has learned that
you just have to be wary going into this industry, and I guess always have a plan B, just in case things go wrong.
People need to be careful about their dreams and how that shapes their future, because it could become your worst nightmare.
One of the joys of the job, actually, if you're flying passengers, is people, because they're all so varied. They all have their different needs, and there are various things that happen, but you just have to want to help people, I think, especially in passenger flying, and I've enjoyed that. And the cabin crew I've worked with have been fantastic, and it's been great fun. I've been very lucky to have such a wonderful career, very lucky.
for some people, sky is the limit. But for those who love aviation, sky is home. Tatiana Daria,